Well, good afternoon. Yesterday we published our draft island plan. It sets out a bold and ambitious vision of building a secure, vibrant and sustainable future for the Isle of Man. It sets the direction of travel and how government will make meaningful improvements to people's lives over the next 5 years. Our plan has 5 broad themes: building great communities, an island of health and well-being, a strong and diverse economy, an environment we can be proud of, outstanding lifelong learning and development opportunities for all. So I engaged with Tynwald members within 24 hours of being elected as Chief Minister because I wanted to ensure that our plan reflects their views and develops the issues that MHKs will have heard on the doorstep during the general election. This is very much a draft plan and has been developed for consultation and further input. We are ready to listen. Over the coming weeks, we will be working to engage right across our island community to get the feedback and views on the plan that we need to develop it out. The first stage of this will be in Tynwald next week, where I look forward to hearing Tynwald members debating the plan. I do hope that during the process between now and January that the community will get involved and share their views. All the feedback we receive will help us to refine the plan with a final version going to Tynwald for approval in January. I'm happy to take any questions.
Ewan. Chief Minister, Ewan from the BBC. The plan is noticeably shorter than the previous programme for government. Was that a deliberate attempt to maybe rein back in what you're going to set out as your vision for 5 years?
Well, bear in mind, Ewan, there are quite a number of elements to add to the plan yet. We have asked the departments, for example, to deliver their vision and to take the high-level principles and statements in the plan and translate that into what they're going to do. So there is much more to add in, and clearly we want to listen to some of the feedback that we get in terms of what can be enhanced. But just to take the broad point, I think I've said all along that it is right, I think, that we have a plan we can understand that is perhaps simple to understand, albeit there will be complexity in the work that we are delivering. So it wasn't a deliberate attempt or to set out to have a lightweight document, but it's certainly been deliberately written in such a way that we can hopefully understand the secure, vibrant and sustainable core strategic objectives and the 5 themes that underpin those, and we will build those out accordingly.
And do you think that will help the plan stay the course? Because obviously the programme for government sort of fell away.
Yeah. So I agree in many ways. I mean, clearly COVID did get in the way, so perhaps there is a mitigating factor there. But yes, I very much hope the plan stays the course. We are intending it's not absolutely 100% set in stone. This can be amended or altered on the way through the journey. We will debate it annually, and we will have departments turning up to Tynwald to explain to Tynwald where they are with their vision and their commitments that they make as part of this plan. So actually we're going to open up the engagement, open up the accountability process, and as a result, I hope that will all help keep this plan on track.
In terms of the department reports, you're asking each department to justify staffing levels as well as talk about performance. What's your intention for the size of government? Because obviously government has grown in size and a lot of people have been critical of that fact. Are you hoping to sort of chip away at unnecessary roles?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that one of the, when you look at, we listed a series of principles as well within there, and stewardship, care of public funds was one of those. And we need to make sure that we are delivering value for money, and part of the delivery for value for money is making sure that we have the right number of people to do that. So we haven't at this stage specifically made a broad overarching statement about numbers. Clearly, numbers also reflect what your delivery commitments are. But yes, I mean, I'm hoping that by the through the course of this process, that we will get to a position where we are able, departments are able to identify and account for the numbers of staff that are being utilised for their delivery. And as part of it, we'll also need to think carefully, both from a budgetary perspective, how many people and what the salary payroll looks like, but also making sure, as I said, that we're getting a level of accountability around productivity, I guess is the key word, and efficiency from the numbers of staff that we are utilising.
Paul Moulton, Man TV. Bigger government, smaller government? I didn't hear much there. I was just hearing lots of things. But you want to make it leaner again? Or is that your plan? Because you were very keen on that originally. I mean, do you not think the numbers are going in the wrong direction?
Well, I think that you bear in mind that the numbers did grow in the last administration, I think by about 500 or so, but are still below the level that we were in 2011. So staff numbers over the decade are still slightly lower than where they were. I think the key essence is about delivery. We made that absolutely clear. We had that very, very clearly on the doorstep. And I think my commitment is to have the right government to make sure that we are delivering. But as I've just said, I think there are a number of factors around that. The productivity, making sure that we are meeting our commitments, absolutely. But also making sure that, of course, we have the right stewardship of public funds, and that we are making sure that within that framework, the numbers of people employed, the level of the payroll, and our funding commitments are properly attuned. So, part of this will be aligned also to the budgetary process.
Sam Turton from Jeff. Two slightly departmental specific things. Firstly, the Major Capital Projects Board, which we heard a lot about in the budget, doesn't feature in this. There's nothing saying it's still going to happen. It's gone a bit quiet on that. Is that still part of your plans to take capital projects out of DOI and into a central board?
It's definitely part of our plans to enhance capital projects. We're currently discussing that matter, and it will form part of the document when you see that completed in January. There's quite a few issues that are still under discussion. Bear in mind that we're sort of 7 weeks since the general election, so and a month or so plus, 5 weeks or so plus since the Chief Minister election. So we're continuing to develop out some of our key objectives.
And just secondly, the other thing was social care. You're talking about making it more accessible and possibly changing the way this is funded. The UK went for NI increases. Is this something that the island could look at, or are we looking at a different model that will set aside from how the UK is doing this?
Well, I think you will see that as being highlighted. It's in the Sir Jonathan Michael report. It's one of the matters that needs addressing. And we're going to continue to examine that. There is a review of national insurance that is being undertaken, and a consideration of what national insurance is used for, who's paying what in what capacity, and where things may be better used in terms of how the funding is being applied is open for consideration.
Alex, BBC. To what level are you in conversations with counterparts in the UK, particularly the Northwest, when we're going into the winter, and of course we're getting lots of people coming in from, Eastern Ireland and northwest of England?
In terms of
your winter framework.
Oh, sorry, the winter framework. Yeah. I mean, look, we have our border policies at the moment, and it's great to see people coming across, from the region. So there's no formal discussions taking place at the moment. As I said, we'll review our border policies in the coming months, and with a view that they will probably change in early spring next year.
Siobhan, Isle of Man newspapers. Just to clarify, just for our readers really, the January plan that we're expecting for the island plan after all the revisions, is that going to set out in more detail exactly how you're going to do these things? Because this reads very much like a wish list, so there's a lot of this what we'd like to do but not how. So are we expecting that in January?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you will see a much more definitive plan come January. Yes, this is set at a high level. It's purposely done at a high level to give this sort of strategic overview, the direction of travel, what we want to achieve, and that's why in the next few weeks the ministers are working with their departments, they're engaging with their stakeholders. They too now have to produce a document. We'll clearly need approval from Council of Ministers, but ultimately come January this document will talk much more about what is going to be delivered in a much more robust way.
Thanks, Cannan. Energy security and food security mentioned actually,
Yes.
I believe, in the board. Energy security now, with the discussions about the gas find in the election, clearly that's a divisive issue, and there will be MHKs who are for and against it. How are you going to deal with that within the island plan? Are you trying to set a policy for that potential decision you may have to make in the future?
Well, so you're right. So we've got two critical security matters that I think the island needs to consider. One is the energy security, and one to plan for energy security and plan for food security. I think the energy security one is slightly more complex. We need to understand what our potential options are in terms of hopefully a renewable source of supply. We also need to understand what our baseline protection level is and where that is going to come from. Those discussions are ongoing. And partly a large answer to this will be within the climate change roadmap. We have had, you will have seen, a report into our energy options from Arab. That needs some more analysis, and I think that I'm also keen to have the climate board strengthened so that we can get a much greater understanding of what 2030, 2035 looks like from an energy supply basis. And yes, you're right, in the background there is a question potentially around this gas field and what potentially should happen next. But it's not just, I think, an Isle of Man per se matter, or an Isle of Man matter per se. We're very conscious. I'm very conscious of COP26. I'm very conscious of what is going on internationally. So there are a number of factors that we will need to discuss in the coming weeks around any gas field exploration, and Council of Ministers will have to make ultimately a determination. Sam.
Securing air links is part of this as well, in terms of on and off island. And the Infrastructure Minister has said that, the Enterprise Minister said that Open Skies is currently up for review.
Yes.
Could this be the end of Open Skies? Are we looking to tie airlines into the island a bit more than we have done in the past?
Well, I look forward to discussing this with Dr. Allinson. I know his department is looking at this matter. Sam, I don't want to preempt that. I haven't actually seen the detail. I'm concerned about our long-term sustainability when it comes to airlines and how the island's going to be serviced in the future, and also as part of a sort of post-COVID recovery. It's going to play a fairly important role. So, we're going to look at this matter in the coming weeks and next couple of months, I expect. And Dr. Allinson hopefully will be updating Council. I hope before Christmas.
Slightly different. DOI. You said it's unfit for purpose. Things have changed. The CEO is gone. Nick Black is gone. I've been trying to get the minister, but unavailable for about 5 days so far. Right. Your comments, please, on what's going on.
Well, I'd like to thank Nick Black for his contribution to the island. He's taken the opportunity to leave, and for the moment there's an interim CEO in charge. I know the minister is keen to have a couple of weeks to evaluate his department, and we'll look at what changes need to be, whether any further changes need to be made in terms of the structure. But absolutely, 100%, we will be strengthening the team around capital projects and how that operates for the future protection, really, of public funds, I hope.
So, sorry, you're not going to split it up because you said it was not fit for purpose, didn't you?
You know what? We're just working with the minister at the moment. As I said, he too must have a say in this. And I think somebody asked earlier, was the island plan complete? Yes, it's just at a very high level. There are elements within the structure of government that are currently under review, don't feature in this plan at the moment, but undoubtedly will show themselves in the next few weeks.